All right, Chris, we are live. This is going to be a lonelier broadcast than usual. I can already tell, but I'm cool with that. I'm good. You know why? The hardcores will be here, and we love the hardcores.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, you know why? Because you're here, and that's all that matters.
No, I can do this by myself.
I thought you were gonna be so nice.
You should know me by now. That's not going to happen. I need to be under the influence to be nice.
It's a sad commentary. Well, anybody watching live, which is probably going to be no one. What we're getting at is the Game Awards now, guys, and not only as the Game Awards streaming everywhere, but also Parole. Damn you, Brian. Damn you. Lots of shared viewership there, and they're going to be all over there. But hopefully, you guys are tuning into this after that, because I can guarantee you that we have at least 850% more
Ooh.
VR news than the Game Awards show.
That's right.
And we're talking all new game stuff. We're continuing our series here. This will be the last
final.
episode.
This is the last episode.
This is we will get these all in here.
As much fun as I've been having with this, we do got to put this bad boy to bed. So we have the last 30 games to cover there. If you guys haven't checked it out and you guys are interested, we've covered just under 60 games now that have been more or less confirmed for the PSVR. So if you want to actually, watch the trailers and hear our thoughts on those games, I think they're worth a watch. They're pretty damn fun in my opinion. And yeah, this is going to be the last final episode. We run down the rest of these things. We cover the things that were announced this week as well. So we got it all on lock. Chris.
Well, and Ryan and I actually didn't talk about this, but Ryan, I'm just looking at the calendar here, and we've got as far as Thursdays left, it's the 15th, and then that next one's the 22nd. So I would say that probably the next episode would be our last one of 2022. I would imagine we'll probably do some type of a roundup and a look ahead. And just kind of a recap of everything that's happened in our own channel as well too. So we haven't really talked about that, but I'm just looking at it here. I don't see us doing one on the 22nd. We might, but I doubt it.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
we'll talk about it.
Stay tuned, guys. We'll update you on that regardless. There'll definitely be an episode next week. Yeah. So I guess we should just jump into this. And we'll skip the what we're playing, this and that. I feel like we need the time.
Find the reviews. Find our latest reviews on our channel. That pretty much covers what we've been playing.
Yeah, and I'll save you the hassle. Compound, and then Ryan did
Hubris
over there. So hubris or hubris?
Hubris? I said hubris.
Yeah, that's what.
Don't make fun of the way I spake. That was actually a deep cut Star Wars joke. I apologize.
Oh really? I didn't even pick up on that. Is that from the
That's how Jar Jar. I spake.
Oh wow,
that's why he's smart.
Deep.
I said deep cut. I'm literally in the middle of watching all the Star Wars. I just said deep cut. Okay.
You know what they need to do just to finalize Kathleen Kennedy's death to Star Wars fans? She needs to do another TV series completely of the is it Gunjans?
The Gungans?
Yeah. The Gungans TV show.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Misa back on TV.
All of them. It's not good.
So happy to be back, Ryan.
Okay, we've got to get off this charge. I apologize for that joke now because now it's leading to this conversation.
Misa's so happy to be back.
Chris, we've got games to cover. We've got 29 games to cover here. And the first one, we're going to catch up on some stuff that was announced this week because we're still going alphabetical order. So catching up on what we forgot last week, we have Across the Valley. Chris, I know you're pumped for this. I know you're pumped because I'm pumped for this. By the way, that's all sarcasm.
Yeah.
This was announced at the Upload.
He's choking on the sarcasm. It's coming out.
This is the Upload VR showcase yesterday. I saw this trailer, and the second I basically included it was Farming Simulator, I was like, well, I'm out. And yeah, it's Farming Simulator, and I'm out, and it looks like a quest game. It doesn't look great. I know people like simulator games. This is from the guys that made Conrad the Kitten and then changed it to Conrad's Kittens. So they have dabbled in the simulator side of things before. But with that being said, I do not care at all about this one, Chris. At all.
No, I mean I can see kids liking this. Like I know Todd's daughter Tegan, she would dig this. Shout out to Tegan, Todd, the mother, fucking whatever. I don't even know what your name is, but over at PSVR Asylum, there, his daughter's adorable, and She was on the show once with us, and I know she digs stuff like this. So it's got its audience, and my wife would probably like the semi nature of it. But yeah, it's not my thing. I don't care. And again, it also just does not. This is not PSVR 2 to me. This is not what I'm looking for.
No, not at all. Like I said, it looks like a Quest game, and then when they threw PSVR 2 at the end of this thing, I was like,
Yeah, but
oh.
we're in that zone now, right now. Where it's like, ooh, put PSVR 2 at the end because we'll probably do that. Like I just feel like everybody like watching this and we need to be smarter. We've all been through the PSVR 1, especially in that first year of PSVR 1, and we just need to now it's not gonna be so much a performance issue because that was the problem last time where they're like, "Oh yeah, we're totally gonna bring it to PSVR 1." It's like, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
Like, but now it's yeah, you probably will. But especially when it's games like this, but I still feel like we just need to proceed with caution because right now it's going to be the thing to do. And if for by some freak of nature, and I really hope this doesn't happen, that the PSVR 2 just tanks, those games aren't going to come,
You don't know. You don't know.
right?
All
But
right,
that won't happen. That won't happen.
so we both don't give a crap about Across the Valley.
Nope.
I'm down with that.
Our hype
Next
rating
up,
is below a 5.
yeah. Drums Rock, or I guess it's Drums Rock? Drums Rock VR, I'm pretty sure. Drums Rock,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. This was kind of a cool trailer because this trailer actually just showed off all the haptics it's using. So it's talking about using the headset, it's talking about the eye tracking, it's talking about foveated rendering, all that stuff, which I thought was pretty. I want to see more of that in trailers.
Oh,
That
that stuff tickles my butthole. Like that's it's like you wanna get my attention. You want to talk dirty to me? Talk eye tracking and dual sense haptics in the controllers. Num, 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 num.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I haven't played Drums Rock before. I know I've heard it's a decent buzz with it. I've played other VR drumming games before, and I've been disappointed, just because of that lack of haptic feedback. So maybe if the DualSense can actually kind of remedy that a bit or enough, where it does feel a little more immersive, I'm down. I mean,
Have you played
yeah,
Drums Rock?
I haven't.
So I have, and I actually gave it. I gave it was like a gift box and a code away last year for Shugmas, which more information to come on that, guys. But my problem with drumming games in VR in general, and there's another one that's escaping me right now that's more like hardcore, like actual drumming, as opposed to like this more kind of like the Guitar Hero drumming, um, or Rock Band, I guess, is the lack of a bass kick.
Right.
Without that kick drum, to me, it just like two things: the coolness factor goes out the window a little bit without that bass kick. That just really hurts it for me. Now I know that one sim game I'm talking about that I saw I think it's on Quest and stuff. You can or on PC maybe. Anyways, regardless, in the trailer for it, I saw you could connect peripherals for it. I don't think this game does any of that stuff. This is way more. This is a rhythm game, straight up,
Yeah.
right? Unless things have changed, Drums Rock either I can't remember didn't have licensed music or didn't have good licensed music. I
I
just
think
remember
it's the
not.
second one. I think it's like covers too, so it's not like it's some songs, but not the original music as well.
I mean,
So
obviously, it's been added to and changed since I last revisited it, but that was to me the thing that, like, it looked awesome, it played kind of cool, but that just really hurt me. Um, Dennison.
we got one.
Um, I saw Ryan start smiling there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, you know what? It's a music. It's a what you call it? It's a music thing for me.
Yeah, I
Yep.
totally agree. I mean, it's any rhythm game lives or dies upon its soundtrack, and I know this obviously caters towards the harder rock side of things, and it gets a lot of love. But I agree. I should play it myself and see. But it's a rhythm game coming to PSVR, which is only one of two that, or I guess we know Synthwires is coming as well.
But it
We'll get
is
to
but
that.
it is one of the things that VR games, music rhythm VR games in general, I feel like suffer from a little bit in the fact that they don't have the budgets. They don't have
Hmm.
these massive budgets behind them to license all the music. And like you said, they live or die on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like was it Audica had like for the type of music it had a decent song list off the hop, and it had like harmonics. That was a harmonics game, right? And even harmonics is a mere shadow of what it used to be, size wise. I mean, they used to have they were like published by EA originally when they had like all the monies.
Mhm.
But they still pump out regular DLC for Rock Band. Anyways, regardless, I'm just saying, like, Beat Saber, it found its perfect form on PC with mods. That's where it found, I think, its real life. It's obviously done well with DLC packs and such, but still,
Yeah.
it's a music thing. It's just and I just yeah.
I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, I'm like a 6. I mean, I know it has a good reputation and it's coming to
It is super
PSVR.
polished. It feels like Guitar Hero. And I guess I kind of feel like, well, we'll see what it looks like when it comes out on PSVR 2. Because that to me, like, I'll see what the soundtrack looks like.
Mhm. I agree. All right. Like a 6. Good job on that cough. Next up is a game I was let down by, actually, and that is Discronia. Beyond Chronos. No, Beyond Chronos? I don't remember what it's called. Discronia. I was kind of becoming a fan of this. Chronos Alternate. There you go. Chronos Alternate. My notes are wrong here. I was kind of getting. I liked the first Tokyo Chronos game. I liked the second one, which was I don't even remember what the second one's called now, which is hilarious. The Chronos series of games. So the third one I was kind of looking forward to as being something that offered a little more immersion and stuff.
I gotta deal with my dog. You talk about this because I have no opinion on this.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, I mean, so this one basically kind of offered up a lot more gameplay, but in doing so, it actually kind of broke the game loop, in my opinion. So it became less of a narrative VR showing, and more of like an intermittent VR game where you were constantly being forced to or asked to walk here and then listen to people talk, and then go do this, then listen to people talk, and then exposition, do something, But it was so jarring. It ruined the immersion for me for this game. So even though it kind of seems like a step forward in regards to putting gameplay in these virtual novel type games, in my opinion, they kind of did their genre a disservice and just did too much gameplay that just didn't work with the game. And so there's 3 chapters. The first chapter is already out in the Quest. The second chapter, I believe, came out today or comes out in a week from now. I can't remember the exact date. And then hopefully by the time this comes to PSVR 2, we will get all 3 chapters in one go. So yeah, Discronia, I'm kind of hoping that the second and third chapters turn it around. But as of right now, after the first chapter, I know a lot of people did like it. I liked it a lot. For me, it just felt like a weird step backwards that tried to use VR and just kind of failed in the immersion. So I mean, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. I'm like a 5.
Yeah,
And Chris doesn't care.
I don't care, but it also proved that you can do this show without me.
Yep. You're all handy. Your dog's good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, good. So next up, speaking of rhythm games, Chris, I don't know if you've seen this trailer yet before, but it's going to blow your mind. Kizuna AI, I think is what it's called. And man, does this thing look like hot garbage. It's like one of those Beat Saber knockoff games where you have to use your batons and hit the incoming blocks, but there's no impact. You're not slicing them like Beat Saber. So it's literally just
oh, this looks like some this shout
Yeah.
out to Dave Station.
Yeah, totally.
This is
Totally.
absolutely a Dave Station
Totally.
drunken late night Asian Beat Saber or a rhythm game.
Yeah. And it doesn't look good. I remember there was one called Beat Blaster or Beat. It was something along those lines. And it wasn't awful, but it was the same thing where you're just kind of matching your hands to the notes, and it's not really engaging. And I remember reviewing it. It had something 60 tracks or something like that. And it was yeah, this is okay for what it is. But you're literally just touching the beat. And if you watch the video, the trailer, you can see the girl who's dancing is doing all the flippy dancey moves that streamers do that the average person just doesn't do. And if you're trying to create that kind of motion in your games when the game isn't telling you to make those motions, to me, you've messed up. You've messed up dramatically. So I could care less about this one. This is a 0. Nope. It wasn't Beat Blaster, those Space Dance. It wasn't Beat Blaster. It was Beat something or other.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you excited more than a 0 for this one?
No.
Yeah, right, exactly. Moving on. So we got next up is The Last Worker, a game that's actually been out I think it's already out for flat. And that's not right. I'm missing a trailer. No. The Last Worker. It doesn't really matter. It's a narrative
for a while up to this point.
Yeah, I'm positive it's in there too. That's annoying. I'm almost going to try to find it now. That's really irritating. Unless I skipped it by accident. No, I did not. That is bizarre. So the last worker then, we'll just pause this, I guess. There's not a lot to talk about. It's like a narrative-driven tale. So basically, the story is you're like the last worker and like this, you're the last human in this AI-controlled factory. So it's like really obviously kind of a narrative-heavy tale in regards to basically being like, what's it like, basically having robots replace humanity, and it looks like a darker tale, a little bit of comedy in it. It's very cel shaded. It almost looks like a Telltale kind of game in that regard. I don't really know how to feel about this. It looks like it's going to be, like I said, like a little bit of like interaction followed by lots of like heavy limitations and heavy narrating and heavy, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that one in regards to like how it'll be. I'm just trying to see if I actually have the trailer in here, but I mean that's crazy.
I don't care.
No. I know. And yeah, same thing. I mean, bottom line is we don't care. I apologize to have the trailer on this one, guys. I do apologize for that one. But it's nothing to get excited about anyways, so screw it. Moving on. And now everything else should be like, fine. I think I remember why I screwed that up. So obviously we got the big announcement here that Moss Book 1 and Book 2 are coming to the PSVR 2 headset. And they did hype up the fact that they're utilizing the PSVR 2 tech. So they're talking about you obviously having two controllers now, which is how the game should be played because playing with the DS4 sucks. And the eye tracking, the fact that you can look at things and Quill will know where you're looking just with your eyes and little things like that.
That could be really neat with the relationship between you and
yeah.
I didn't hate using the DS4, but the fact that the second one does use more, you seem to interact. From what I've seen, you interact more with the environment. Having the independent hands will be nice. I mean, obviously with the move controllers, I would have hated to have played that game with moves.
Well, it would have been possible.
Wow. I mean, it wouldn't have been impossible.
To control Quill with those and do the things, that's impossible.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, okay.
No, but after playing Ven with the two controllers, Ven didn't take advantage of that nearly enough. There was only a few moments where you threw things. But having the two hands is nice. So
it is. I mean, I played the Quest version, PC version of this, and it's honestly it's meant to be played with two controllers in mind. It does feel dumbed down for the DS4, especially when you are like controlling Quill with one hand and you're actually like manipulating enemies with the other. And when playing with DS4, you can't do that. It actually gets awkward. And then when you factor in the tracking with the DS4, which you can't turn the controller anywhere away from the camera, this is the better version. This is like. But that being said, if you are looking to if you did buy this for the PSVR 1, this is a brand new purchase for PSVR 2 as of right now. So you basically have to buy the game twice. It's bundled. So you can get Moss Book 1 and 2, I think, for $40 US, for both games. But I mean, it's Moss. If you haven't played it now, I mean, waiting till the PSVR 2 was the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not. I don't like the two hands. That's nice. The eye tracking is nice, but it's all about the visual upgrade, especially with the PSVR display, to the PSVR 2 display. Just that the crispness and the color pop, and just getting that PC version too. Like you and I have talked about before, Moss is not a game about gameplay. I mean, it's not. It doesn't have amazing genre changing gameplay. It's not a super deep game. It's all about the feel of playing Moss and being in that magical little world, and that kind of just the whole experience of that. And so the visual bump is a huge thing.
Yeah, and like playing on PC, it's the prettiest, and the fact that it might even look even better on PSVR, it sounds like they're actually kind of going back and like tweaking some like textures and stuff. It might be the ultimate version to play, so at least we have that to look forward to. I don't know, I'm pumped for that. I mean, I've played this thing on 3 different headsets, so I can't say I'm excited for this thing. That being said, I'm excited to see if the tech actually makes it even better. And so as far as the average Joe goes, this is like a 9. This is probably my game of the year this year. So to sit here and be like, I'm not excited for this is mental. This is probably my game of the year for 2022. So it's pretty cool. This is coming to PSVR 2, and I believe it's a launch title as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. My hype levels, it's it's not like I'm like, oh my god, but it's nice to be able to see these in their perfect form.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason that we're having this little cameo here is for some reason my dog's shaking. And I don't know, something freaked her out or what's going on upstairs. So we're just having a moment here while we talk.
That's nice. She's like your therapy dog?
And I'm her therapy human.
That's nice. So now we've caught up. We've caught up on all the games that were announced this last week. So now we're back on the list, Chris. We're back up, and we're in the R's, and we are looking at Runner, which was originally confirmed for PSVR back in the day, and then quickly sidelined for PSVR 2. So yeah, I mean, I played this early in the year. I actually really enjoyed it. It got patched shortly after launch. It made it the game it should have been, which is a lot more fun to play. If you're like Akira, it's the Akira bike races in VR. And if that sounds like your jam, you're gonna really enjoy this. I am hoping for like a visual bump. Just because the Quest version did look a little like not drab, but like they really embraced the cartoon a lot, just by making the backgrounds a little bit kind of like stale and repetitive.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping the PS4 2 gets a jacked up visual for that. But I mean, this is high speed chases in VR. I like this. I'm happy this is coming to PS4 2.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do a lot for me. I played a little bit of it. You played all of it to review it. Meh, it's cool. Again, it's just like it's very questy. That's my problem. It just feels like a quest game.
I get it. I mean, it's a bike race, so you're always facing forward. Like, it definitely feels like it was designed for PSVR 1 in mind almost. And
Yep.
then you can totally see where they're just, but then obviously with the PSVR 1 just being, not.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's a game like it's a game that I probably would pick up. Like if the what was it priced around $20?
15 bucks.
Yeah. See, I totally pick that up and have a blast with it. It might be fun to throw some friends in. It's an easy arcadey type game, but it's just not
Mhm.
to get my hype meter up. No.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel that. I think it's will be one of those ones that's, you say, one of those things where people pick up on a sale and then they're pleasantly surprised by it. I think that's where it's going to kind of get some success.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. We're moving on. This one, I got a small trailer here. Samurai Slaughterhouse. This is actually an old trailer, but I played this demo. Well, let's you talk. I mean, Samurai Slaughterhouse. You got something to say about this?
You can start. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So it's very black and white aesthetic. It's like basically all black and white. There's some grayscale in there, but it's largely black or white, which is a really cool artistic look, and it's gory as hell. Like, I played a very early version of this, and it's a sword fight. You play as like a samurai. It has some RPG elements. You actually like take on missions and have to explore the landscape and like, find whatever you gotta find or do whatever you gotta do. And it's these gory sword battles, and it's cool. The developer said he's planning for this to be a launch title. I don't know if that's still the case. Just because he's like a lone guy. It's Justin over at Tab Games.
Okay.
But he has been putting in a ton of work into this thing. Nonstop. He's updating this thing all the time. It looks slick as hell. If he gets it all together and it is a solid like game loop, this could be something really, really freaking cool. It just has that cool style that no one else is doing, and in VR, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's got a Kurosawa look, if that means anything to you.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, I haven't played it. You played like an early demo, right? Because it's not even an
Long time ago, probably like a year ago now at this point. So I played a super early version. This is something that they said he's added quests, a whole bunch of new locations. He's obviously, from what I played, he's added a ton more to the swordplay and stuff, and like I said, dismembering, and like it looks fun as hell. It really, just watching this trailer again, it looks like he's putting a ton of like, yes, like just the fact that slaughter is in the name of this thing, and he's not wrong. It should be good.
Yeah, anything with melee in VR though is always okay, well, I need to see, because it's almost impossible to do properly in VR. I feel like I mean, I'm not saying that like no one's nailed it yet. They've either gone super arcadey like we talked about, where it's almost quick time events, like just ching ching ching, or
Yep.
or they go the blade and sorcery route where they try to do weighted physics and stuff, and
It gets goofy.
it can get a little janky, and it's like you can try to be weighted, but then you're always a little bit ahead of your arm. So it's just, and then there's no impact. It's a tough one. It's really hard to nail. But I could see if this game does, like, where it's just like you're just hacking through shit, and it's more just a visceral experience. That could be.
I mean, in that trailer, he's literally watching. He's like cutting guys like right across. He cuts two guys right across, and it cuts exactly where his sword went. And you even see the delay. Like, there's almost like a little bit of resistance. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I might be reinstalling this thing and see if I can get an updated build, because this looks This looks slick as hell right now. I'm kind of getting excited over here. I'm getting a chubby.
I would say some of the best melees still, as far as like feeling visceral, is still The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, chapter 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Salvador, we love you.
Salvador, you're such an awesome dude.
And there you go. He follows his Justin too. Justin puts on quest builds every Friday. Definitely a fun game. There you go. So like I said, this guy's all over this thing. He's been nonstop updating it. Very much reminds me of like Blair in how he constantly updates the game. But he's much more of just a lover of everybody and not a hater of everybody.
What? Blair? If you guys are Blair Ronald, he's the guy over doing.
Pretty sure it's Renault, but
lo-fi.
Yeah, lo-fi. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Yep. Yeah. I mean,
I'm excited. Even watching this trailer, I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to get my hands on this game. I am. So, I'm looking forward to just getting a better sense of like the full scope of the game.
You know, Salvador, you should like, if you put words in there, we'll like say them out loud and you can basically say whatever you want. Anything you want. Little PSAs, we'll allow that. Super chats, we'll allow that.
Yeah, this is R-rated. We will say anything.
Anything, yeah. Whores. We are whores. All right, Samurai Slaughterhouse, we're both pretty pumped for that. I like that. I'm like an 8. Next up is Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrock. Which I have to scope this trailer down here. This one I'm on the fence about. It looks really good in some instances and then looks really kind of jank in others. It just looks like a dungeon crawler. You have all the powers and stuff. It kind of reminds me of like the other arena stuff, like Hellsplit, that kind of thing. But it looks questy. It just looks like it's coming to Quest as well. And just if I'm going to see these types of games I've seen before, I need to see. It has to blow me away, I guess, visually, and visuals obviously aren't they clearly aren't the end of the world, hubris. But that being said, what I'm seeing here right now just doesn't excite me. It just looks like another little like rogue-like kind of medieval arena magic battler thing.
Yeah, I know. It looks very questy.
Yeah, the trailer's from last year. October. The trailer was a quest trailer from last year. So there you go. That tells you how much I source out my videos.
Throw a fireball, climb a rope in VR. I'm just past that now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and hopefully, I mean, like I said, this is definitely the quest trailer we're watching here. So hopefully, they do kind of bring the PSVR love to this thing and spice up the visuals, because that would go a long way into making this look like a better buy. Like I said, you're not wrong. It looks like, I've played the Wizards before. I've played this, like every part of this game I've played before, better, and that's not. Yeah,
it's kind of like, have you played the Wizards and
Mage's Tale
and Blade and Sorcery? Well, get ready to play a mediocre version of all three.
Yeah, sorry, Shadowgate. I haven't played your game, so maybe we're wrong. But it just, from this trailer alone, I'm just like,
no, I heard some decent things about this, but it's just, I feel like it's very questy. I just feel that's the term. It just feels undercooked.
Look, I mean, it's a conversation that we're planning in the future. But I mean, like, the PSVR 2 is developing a quest problem, and stuff like this isn't good for it. It's just straight up, it's just not good for it. So hopefully, if they sexy it up and make it where it looks a little bit better than what the Quest version looks like, not a bit better, substantially better, then it's a different story. But as of right now, this looks a little throwaway.
It's funny that's like Space Tennis and like, this game is old school. It's like, well, what does that mean by old school? Because it's like, by old school, you mean like 2019? You mean like when PC was getting all these fucking wicked ass titles, and we had nothing but dreams with our PSVR 1 about like what games we still might get? It's like, it's weird. We're in this weird Quest time where it's like, it's not old school. It's just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it doesn't look bad by any stretch. It just looks like I said, it looks like I've already been there and done that, and that's just not. It's not Mage's Tale at home. Okay, well, I mean, I don't like harp over this thing. It just, right now, I'm not excited for this thing. Hopefully, they change my mind.
Yeah,
5.
Yeah, no, 5. I'll do a 5. I feel like Space Tennis is saying we're missing out on something. So I'll look into it. But
What does he know? He's watching this show right now.
oh, fuck you. I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting for the PSVR 2 version to try it out though. So
Same.
hopefully I want to be surprised.
I totally agree with that too. I would love for all these games that were given like 5s to be like, oh my god, I was so wrong about this, which is the whole point of this conversation. Like, hi everybody, we are the Virtual Boys, and we love to fart. Thanks, Wonder Rob. That's an easy one.
That's not
Man,
even tough.
yeah, right? Are you kidding me?
Hi everybody, we're the Virtual Boys, and I eat Ryan's ass on Sundays.
Right? Oh man, come on, Wonder Rob. I think you just now I think Wonder Rob is like 7.
I feel like I know Rob well enough that he like had some other things that he was gonna say, and then he like was like deleting it and like, oh, I can't write that. Okay, I'll write this.
For the record, you can. I mean, we won't block you. Maybe YouTube might, but I mean, that's you. That's you and YouTube. Moving on, Chris. We're talking about Soul of Kairu. Not a lot to see here. This is like a teaser, like a super teaser trailer. It looks very like diorama-y. Kind of like diorama-y, not like diarrhea-y, diorama-y. Kind of like a Moss. What's the other one there? Where you like lifting up the houses and stuff like that. You control that little dude. It was a very emotional tale about the. I can't remember what it's called.
Giant in it.
Ghost Giant.
Ghost Giant.
Thank you.
It looks very Ghost Giant.
It looks very Ghost Giant-y, but like I said, you can't really tell what's going on from this trailer. You don't really know what the game loop is or anything like that. What's up, Triangulator? But it does look like it's kind of like, along the same lines. It looks quality. I need to see more, obviously, but I do enjoy these kinds of games. I do like games that kind of use VR a bit differently, and the fact you're controlling this little dude on top of being like this overworlder kind of guy. I don't know. I mean, I want to see where this goes, but I do get excited for games that use VR not just in first person, and this does seem to be doing that. So I'm like a 7. I'm like a 7 for this thing. I want to see more, but these games do, honestly, they do excite me more than they should, just because they're trying something different.
Yeah, they play well in VR. I enjoyed they look clean. Third person stuff in VR can work really well. You can feel like you're kind of like in this god view in this little world. It's also why I'd like to see more like God Sim stuff, like really good stuff too.
Yeah, I've played a bunch. I've even RTSs. The problem is they only come out in the Quest, and I hate them because they look like garbage. And it's
been a ton of good stuff on the Quest either.
No, there hasn't been. I'm not saying, but that's kind of the problem. I want it, like, part of the appeal of those games is kind of like the feeling like that over, like when you're viewing the whole world and you feel like you are, and because of the limitations of the Quest, like you don't see that, or they're so dumbed down. I guess the best example I have of this really would be something like Cities VR, where the visuals get so stripped back, it just doesn't look like a city anymore. It just looks like various blobs that are supposed to be buildings, and it's just like, well, now I just don't care about this world. I'm not building up this cool world. I'm just making messes.
Sim games can be, I think, pretty resource heavy.
I don't want excuses. I want results.
No. Yeah, totally. But that's why I think you don't see some of that stuff. Because I feel like like consoles have typically been horrible for RTS games and God Sims and everything, because they have to take everything that they do with mouse and keyboards and cram it into like some kind of a scrolling controller thing where they've got all the buttons are grouped up and everything onto like bumpers and everything. And I feel that like VR is the perfect in between, because screw mouse. I'm not gonna use a mouse. I'll just point and grab and throw things, and then like being able to bring up like some games have done, bringing up like other like monitors. Like I think of that one game. What the heck was it called? No, it wasn't Table of Tales. It was like the circle table, and you
oh damn it,
played around it, and you had, and it also had like card based.
Yeah, it had multiplayer,
real-time strategy, card attacks and stuff.
Vertigo Games published that too, didn't they?
The name's just escaping me right now. But the cool thing about that is that you could they gave you all the different like sim options for running your town, like taxes and their happiness and food and resources, and you could like ping ping ping, and you could place them all up around you. Like it's just such a perfect medium for stuff like that. Anyways, I digress.
I want to find that game now, but it's not. Who the hell makes that damn thing? That's gonna bother me because I love that game, and the fact
Yeah,
that the name just escaped me is
Ant-Man in
actually
VR would be sick though, wouldn't it? Like if they make another VR game, Marvel VR game, Ant-Man would be so. I mean, it's just like, come on now,
totally.
with a budget. Whoo,
Whoo!
whoo.
And Discord didn't mute that. That's hilarious.
Spider-Man
Anyways,
2. Hi, honey.
yeah, that'd be
You have
sweet.
to wait.
All right, Soul Calibur, like I said, I'm like a 7. These games do just kind of tickle me in the right places. Uh-oh, you want to read this one, Chris?
Another $9.99.
Oh, it's
Really?
just a nice
I thought
one.
oh, okay. Virtual Boys, keep up the awesome work. Triangulator, we really appreciate that. No, and the 9.99, I never took that as a slight. I thought it was just a hilarious kind of fuck you. But
That's
no, that's
awesome.
awesome. We really appreciate that, guys.
Awesome, guys. Like, thank you so much, guys. I really, that does mean the world. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess there's nothing to read. So, it's like, cheers to Virtual Boys. Keep up the awesome work. We try. I mean, that's the reason why we're here live. I know it's counter programming to everything else happening right now. So, we knew it might be a lower turnout. But like I said, we love the fact you guys are here, man. We recognize and know all of you. And it's just, this is like the hardcore show.
Since we are talking Ghostbusters, or sorry, PSVR 2 rather, those of you in chat who saw the trailer, I am curious what you think of Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. I actually watched the trailer while Ryan was talking there because I don't care what he
And well, oh, did you? You bastard. Okay, well, here, let's talk about this then, Chris. You talk about Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge.
You want me? Okay, well, you're watching that. So guys, go watch that trailer if you haven't watched it. We're gonna talk about it here. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Ryan likes this more than I do.
I do.
We've talked about how we think it's great that a Star Wars license coming to PSVR 2, kind of a launch. I think it's a launch title, is not a bad thing. I feel that Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, I felt like it just felt, at least on the Quest, like a little bit of a paint by numbers Star Wars franchise on the Quest. Like just dumb AI, very simple shooting game, little depth, just enough fan service to keep it tied into the series. Um, didn't do a ton for me, but it's still got some. It definitely still had some Star Wars production value as much as it can on the Quest, which is why I'm very excited to see it maybe fully realized on the PSVR 2. And the fact that it's also it's called episode 1 and 2. It had the DLC, which I had always heard the DLC was actually better.
It is.
Yeah. So that's what, just like we were talking about last episode, I said, the nice thing about the PSVR 2 is it's some of the games that it's getting now are kind of in their like more complete form. And so I feel like it's a much better package for people to get this Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Like now it feels like there's actually at least a couple of Tales and not just Tale from the Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, so just so right now that I'm back here in the game, yeah, so it had the two main campaigns, both about 3 hours each. The second campaign was much more enjoyable. It very much felt like a little more like Star Warsy. You're fighting the Empire. It was just a better even story overall. And then you get those little bonus tales. So just like 10-minute missions. I think the first game only had like one or maybe two. And then the second DLC gave you 3 more missions playing Jedi. Continue the story. It's good. I'm more psyched to see what this game looks like on PSVR 2 because the trailer looks like a substantial upgrade over the Quest version, like substantial, not just like a texture boost, but full on like asset replacement. And hopefully, if they do something better with the AI, I don't think they will, but if they do, I didn't hate them. They're definitely dumb, but they're smarter than the AI and hubris, so there's that. And I don't know. I mean, it's Star Wars in VR. I made jokes a couple episodes ago how I'm not gonna buy. I won't do it. I'm totally gonna buy this. So I mean, I'm like a 7. It looks pretty. It looks really pretty.
I wouldn't be stunned if this game was either originally being developed for or at some point was being planned as a PC game too, and then just didn't. It just figured it wasn't worth it, or they struck a deal with Meta to do it as a Quest exclusive, timed obviously. Uh, because it is quite the overhaul. It looks pretty damn good, but who cares? I don't really care how it came to be. It looks awesome, and I think that there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there who are going to be excited to pick it up. It's a good look. It's a good look for the PSVR 2, even if it is Quest leftovers. But fuck yeah.
Questovers. We'll just call them Questovers.
Todd, Todd, you missed your shout out. Missed your shout out.
Yeah, for
Anyway,
the record, guys, I've heard YouTube's been kind of wonky with their notifications of late. So yeah, I mean that's why we're here every week at the same time. So you guys don't need notifications. You just know Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern time, your time. It's Virtual Boys time. This is why we do this.
to Rob, what you were saying there about the just one more note on Tales. I think one of the big things that's going to really take Tales from the Galaxy's Edge to the next level is it really lacked any dynamic lighting. That's one of the biggest things that
Mhm.
the quest lacks. I think it's one of the things that makes games feel so questy for me,
Yeah,
and so dry and lifeless, is that they really have almost no lighting in a lot of those, like any dynamic lighting,
yeah,
anything, any effects really.
yeah,
So I think that's gonna just the lighting overhaul that it's gonna get alone is gonna be huge. Anyway,
totally. All right, moving on.
yes,
Are you a Stranger Things fan?
I am.
Oh, good. Well, you're getting a Stranger Things game. And
Saw
this one's
that.
actually, for those that maybe are aware, there was a Stranger Things experience that came out way earlier on in the PSVR's life cycle. This isn't that. This is a full-on game. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for Stranger Things, guys. But you basically play as the big bad from the 4th season, which is all over the trailer. So I mean, if you're watching this thing, sorry, but it's basically about use the big bad going after like the kids from the show. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. I'm not sure if this takes place between like seasons 4 and 5. I don't know that at all. But I do actually kind of like the idea of making you this powerful being and just having you go through all these weird dimensions that have become so popular because of the Netflix series. And hopefully this thing is like more than like a 2-hour experience.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen the trailer for this.
I mean, my biggest issue is it looks very it looks kind of like cell shaded, not cell shaded, but there's definitely there's another term for it. A dev corrected me ages ago about it, but it's along those same lines where it does look cartoonish, which I'm not the biggest fan of, just
Yeah.
because I know of the real I've already seen these things in like hyper real CG, so it feels like it's like Jurassic Park. The same thing you said about Jurassic Park. About like I've always wanted to see raptors in a cartoon. I don't want to see raptors in a cartoon. So that's the biggest thing against this thing for sure, for my end. But I am kind of a Stranger Things nut, not nut, but I'm still enjoying the series. So if I can do Stranger Things in VR, I'm kind of down to see what they got.
Maybe.
I'll say 7.
I'm interested to see how they do it. I really like Stranger Things. I never once thought to myself, I wish I could play. They should make a video game in this franchise. So we'll see. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
agree. I totally agree with that. I would never pick this to be a franchise with a game. I totally agree with that.
I
But
feel like
here we
I
are.
feel like it actually might have made a better like, I don't know, like solid, like maybe you're another teenager, another young teen, like trying to like survive, and like somehow you get pulled into the upside down, and like I could see it maybe playing better like that. But if you're playing Vecna, then I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. Like if I don't know, it feels like it could lend itself to being fairly two-dimensional if you're just like raising havoc as Vecna. But I don't know,
Mhm.
actually break little kids' legs in VR.
Yeah, yeah. Kill them, murder them all like you always wanted to.
Where's your song now, bitch?
Running up the hill. Moving on.
Yes.
All right. Next up is Suicide Guy VR, or for you PlayStation VR users in North America, The Guy VR Deluxe Edition. Did you play this? I can't remember if you played this or not.
What game? Sorry.
Suicide Guy.
I played a little bit of it on PC, and I just found the game very. I just didn't understand like what I was really supposed to do, and I didn't care enough to keep
You're
going.
supposed to kill yourself.
Yeah, I know. With the game that they changed now, they're like, "Oh, suicide's offensive."
Well, no, it's still Suicide Guy everywhere else except on PlayStation. So
Yeah, I
clearly
know.
Sony was like, whoa, 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 you can't put suicide in the name. And then even the trailer is like, you have to escape your dreams. And the piece trailer is like, you have to kill yourself in your dreams. So that's pretty funny. I mean, the game, I played enough of it where I got sick of it. The controls are obviously, they're purposely loose. It's like Surgeon Simulator if it was like a platformer. And there's fun to be had there, but there's also a lot of frustration. There's like, I think there's like something like 20 different dreams, maybe even more than that. I can't remember the exact number. And every dream is different. So it's just like a bunch of like little mini, almost like job simulator-esque scenarios, but it's like a platformer with different. It's all right. I don't know about a deluxe edition. I'm not sure exactly what that entails. The deluxe edition is available now for PC VR headsets. Um, I just
I
the
don't
game
care.
didn't blow me away. So
No one cared about this game. I don't think. I don't think I've heard anyone ever mention it. I just don't think it resonated. It also came out later on the PlayStation lifespan. But I didn't hear anything about it. I just, again, this is not the stuff I want to see in the first year of PSVR 2.
I'm gonna come over there and beat your dog.
I
That's
know.
what's gonna
I'm
happen.
sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I've played it. I don't know what this is gonna bring to PSVR 2. I really don't know what's gonna bring to PSVR 2. So I mean, it's I guess the more is supposed to be the merrier, even though I'm getting sick of kind of like the more. It's just no, yeah, it doesn't excite me at all. I mean,
Yeah.
4 4 just pull a number out of me. Yeah, screw that guy. Next up is another game that got announced this last week, but we're in alphabetical order here, and that is Survival Nation. This I don't know what to think of this thing. It looks like Arizona Sunshine's graphics. You're actually doing hunting and fishing and surviving zombie hordes and bartering and going on missions. And I don't know. This is being built for the Quest, so automatically I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. But I don't know what to make of this. I just don't know if I care. I don't know if there's enough here to warrant my attention. I need to see more, I guess, before I get too excited. But right now I'm not. It looks like Arizona Sunshine on PSVR 1 with less
So
lighting.
I probably care more about Ryan than Ryan does, because at least it looks like it's gonna do some things that are more in my territory of interest. Like, it looks like it's trying to be more of a crafting survival game. But that's where my concern is that, like, again, not to I don't want to shit on the Quest. Like, I love the Quest, and I think the Quest has its place. And I feel like even more than before with PSVR 2 coming out and there kind of being options for developers, I think the Quest 2 is going to be even more have its place, where I feel like there's games that fit better on the on that device, whereas a game like this, I want to see this game on a more powerful console. Like, I look at it and go, this is I just feel like it's too ambitious. They're going to cut too many corners. And also I just always get concerned when I see a game that's trying to be this ambitious by what is most likely a small studio. I hate to just, like, I had to know nothing about who's making this, but it just looks
I can tell you. Let's see.
it looks pretty
Waifu.
indie. And I just there's so much in there that I'm like, yeah, I like this sounds like this looks cool. I kind of want to do this, but I feel like the whole thing is just gonna feel really undercooked. And
Yeah, and that's my big worry. And
nothing's it's not gonna do anything really great. Um
so
Especially when we think of this now being PSVR 2, which is what we're talking about, it looks super questy.
so their game library is Elven Assassin, which looks like a VR archery game.
Yeah, it's on Quest.
Battle of Kings, which looks like a generic, like kind of like a very simple like RTS, like world builder kind of thing, but you're like building up small villages. And then this one.
Yeah, so it's they're trying to play in the big leagues a little bit more. Like I said to Ryan before when we were looking at it, it looks like kind of Pop One meets like Year One Arizona Sunshine with some like ambition to be more than both. And I'm hoping that what we're seeing right now is very early development. I hope this is at least a year and a half out.
What's this thing called? Survival Nation. No date. No date.
Good. Keep working, boy. Because like there's a lot there that I like, that is like the thing that I would like. So
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's just I need to see more. But as of right now, I'm not excited. Moving on, we're going with Swordsman VR. Sorry, so Swordsman's getting the PSVR 2 upgrade. I honestly don't know. I mean, this game's out in PC VR, and across all three versions, it damn near looks identical. So I don't know what PSVR 2 is going to bring to this thing. Um, which is my biggest question, because if it's just more of the same, then I don't know why I should be excited, other than the fact, I guess I'm not playing with moves anymore. So obviously this is kind of this will come down to like haptics, and if they do anything with eye tracking, I'm not sure what they could do. But for myself, as much as they keep fixing this game, or fixing this game is not fair, as much as they keep upgrading this game and updating this game and adding new things, to me they're always they're always inconsequential. For myself, these upgrades. So I don't know what the PS4 2 version is going to bring. So for that reason, I'm not too ecstatic for that. Other than the fact, I guess I think it's a free upgrade for PSVR 1 owners. I think
I feel
so.
exactly the same way.
So yeah, and I guess they've confirmed it as a launch title. So great. I mean, if you already own the game, then you'll get to play it properly on the PSVR 2. But outside of that, I really don't know what's going to happen here with PS. It's just like, I've played the PC version. It's damn near identical to the PSVR version. So I don't know what's going to change on PSVR 2.
Yeah, I mean, I played it on PC, and I can't
Oopsie.
say it did a lot more for me on PC, other than looking a little sharper
Yeah.
than on any other the other versions. I just, yeah, Swordsman just never resonated with me, and it's not like I can sit here and go, "Oh, like that's wrong with it," especially as they've done so much to bring it. It felt very early access when it launched. It did a good early access, and way better than anything Sin Studios had done before. But like when I look at this list of these types of games, when it be like, Blade and Sorcery, and I'm just pulling a blank now here.
Like Hellsplit or
Hellsplit, thank you, and Dead and Undead Citadel, and even other games on PC like Hard Bullet. This is my least interesting game. It's just there's something about it. It feels like it's trying so hard to be Blade and Sorcery, but again, like the mods are what made Blade and Sorcery on PC and the Quest for me. Like they took it to that
Mhm.
next level, and there's just something that just still feels quite, I don't know, just generic about Swordsman.
A smaller scale, I think, is also a thing. Like you're only ever fighting more than 3 guys at a time in smaller arenas. And I know they've done the things with the armor and everything else. They've definitely done their own special thing. But I do agree, it's not. It doesn't pull me every time they do an upgrade. It doesn't pull me back. Like their latest update was like they revamped all the boss weapons. All right, that's cool. But I'm not going
No,
back to
it's fine.
Swordsman just to
Do
see
and I
that.
think
Yeah.
it's good for PSVR too, especially if we don't
See.
have Blade and Sorcery, and who knows when Undead Citadel, or did they give us a release date?
Oh, we'll get there, Chris. We'll get there. We're so
Oh
close.
yeah, they did, right? But like it fills a niche, a niche that's very popular, and so like to have that on the PSVR 2, great,
Yeah.
but it's not new. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I'm sorry, I just can't get super excited about it.
I'm not wrong. I was wrong about the free upgrade. They were kind of on the fence about that, so it sounds like there might be a small fee. I think, if I remember correctly, they never confirmed if it was going to be free or not. But I think they said there might be like a cheap one.
Yep.
Either way,
It's fine. It's a game. I like seeing a game that just keeps getting better, and funny enough, games in this genre just seem to just continually just get patched. None of these games have had sequels. They just keep getting patched.
yeah,
Like on PC, like I Hard Bullet, guys. If you got a PC and you haven't played Hard Bullet and you like that, fuck, it's the gun version of Blade and Sorcery, basically. And it's just they just keep patching in new weapons, new physics, new weapons. I said that already. New arenas, new abilities. Like they just keep adding and adding, and Swordsman seems to keep doing that too. In some ways, I guess it's kind of cool that it's getting on PSVR 2, because it doesn't seem like they're going to stop. Like it's almost like a game as a
yeah.
service,
No, that's true enough.
except that you're not paying.
Yeah,
At
totally.
some point, they should probably just stop and make a second one. But
Now they got a winner finally. Yeah. So yeah, meh. So next up is a weird one. Tempest 84. They released a recent teaser trailer which showed almost nothing. It just showed like Reagan on a television and like hands and like a little bit of voiceover. And there's a trailer from a couple years ago which showed something. It's all about time traveling. You travel back to like 1984 and like just like apparently
missed
just
it by 1 year.
disturb shit. So I don't know exactly what this thing is. I mean, the old trailer looks like pretty poor in regards to like the character models and whatnot. But it's an old trailer. They've been working on this game now for like 3 or 4 years. It's been around for a while, so I'm all down for time travel. I mean, Wanderer kind of really did, I think, a fairly good job of that in regards to like puzzling and like going back to different eras. Um, I just need to see more from this thing. I don't really know what to expect. Like I said, the original trailer is pretty jank, and the new trailer doesn't really show anything. So I'm down for a narrative puzzle, like super time travel caper story. I just don't know what this thing is actually going to deliver upon. I mean, it's got shooting elements apparently. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's too hard to tell. Time travel, I think, works kind of cool in VR because
Totally.
it lends itself to well, when your world shifts around you and being able to like see, I don't know, you're really in the world. There's something about it shifting around you and changing throughout the time that would be very immersive and impactful. The other thing is it also lends itself, if it's a puzzle game, it lends itself to like clone like sensibilities. Um, but it looks pretty undercooked right now.
Yeah, I'll put the second trailer here just so we can see the second trailer just because it's more recent, but like, it doesn't really show much. So yeah, I said for me, I need to see more. I need more than what they showed so far. I just don't know what this thing is about. So I'm kind of hoping it's going to be cool, awesome time travel VR fun, or it's going to be just a wash. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I need to see more 5 just to be safe, I guess. Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Good. Moving on. We got Tentacular, Game of the Year, VR Grid. Just kidding. But it is a fun, like, throwaway physics mess around. You play as a giant squid in front of, like, a little tiny, like, almost like a Lego town, for lack of a better term. And they basically give you tasks, and you have to, like, go do squiddy things. So you can, like, use the environment to, like, make virtual slingshots out of, like, electrical wire, and like it's just one of those like mess around physics things, right? And everything has physics. You have to, so you're making towers, you're making crazy towers using like just like whatever you have nearby. It gets weird and funny. There's an overarching story about why exactly you are a squid who thought he was a person for his whole life up until the game starts. It's wacky, it's funny, it's kooky. It's really good for casual VR players. So I think in that regard, this is kind of something like, I guess you kind of put your kids or your grandma in kind of thing, and they kind of, messing around. It's like Job Simulator where you can kind of mess around and still feel like you're doing something. And it works. It is fun. I don't know who's going to buy, it's not one of those things you're going to buy at launch and be like, yeah, Tentacular. But I think you'll have fun with it.
You might buy it for your kids though.
Yeah. And it does have a lot of humor to it too. Like it's got some laughs.
Yes, it's very questy triangulator.
We're using that as an insult now, so you gotta be careful when you say that.
Yeah. Ryan's gonna call me up on I was gonna say on the video phone, which sounds very dated, but on and be like, yeah, you're looking pretty questy today, Chris. What?
Fuck you, yeah. I'll kill you. Yeah, any thoughts on this thing?
I care only slightly more about this than the announcement of VR pets coming to PSVR 2. Sorry, Todd. Don't give a fuck. I feel that like Tentacular. It looks like a game that should be in the playroom at launch for kids to fuck around in. Like I look at that and I immediately think of like the Godzilla and stuff, the little mini.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it has its appeal, but I do agree it's not going to be something that people immediately go and grab in the store. I totally agree with that. But it's good. I mean, I gave it a pretty high score actually. It does actually have a lot of charm and polish. But it also it's a sandbox puzzle. It's a physics puzzler, and those can also get really annoying if when you're fighting with physics, which is part of the charm if you're into that. But it can also be part of the not so charming.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, it's kids need VR too.
kids need VR too. There you go. Going on here, Chris. We got Tin Hearts. This one took me a while to kind of figure out what you're doing in this game. As far as I can tell, this is like a Lemmings game. And that might actually be a pretty deep cut for us, younger gamers out there, because Lemmings hasn't been a thing now for quite some time. But it looks. Oh, here's the trailer that I lost. Found it. The last worker trailer was under the T because it started with the. I didn't remove the. But the trailer doesn't really show you a goddamn thing. So moving on. We already talked about it. So now we're back up to Tin Hearts. So it's hard to tell the trailer, but it looks like an emotional story about this like guy who makes these toys who looks like probably loses his family and then like obviously, I guess makes these. I don't know. It looks like it's gonna have a pretty heavy narrative, and it's like a puzzle game. I mean, I don't know. It's getting lots of buzz. It's already available, I believe, on Switch. If not, it's coming soon for Switch and flat, and
What's
coming
it
to
called?
Tin Hearts.
Hmm.
And it's coming to PS4 as well as PS5 or PSVR and PSVR 2. Still apparently, which is surprising. It looks quality. I'll definitely give the game that from what I can see from the trailers, and I think they've showed gameplay in another trailer. But I don't know. I really don't know what the game is. It's just it's kind of hard to tell exactly what you're doing in this thing, other than I guess walking little soldiers across levels, and that this guy is pissed his family's dead. Maybe I don't know. It's kind of a weird. It's a weird like, and his family's dead. Now play with toys. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So
Yeah, how
are you?
is keep that from getting too dark.
Yeah, but it does look like the focus is very much on like this guy's like turmoil. So it's just like, oh, I don't know how heavy this will be. I'm down for heavy. That's fine. I just don't understand from this trailer what I'm doing.
It looks very Lemmings, and I'm down with that. I enjoyed Lemmings, and like I like that type of. I don't look. I look at more like a strategy game than a puzzle game. I guess it's puzzle strategy, but I like that type of shit. I like, and so yeah, I mean, I think we're ready for more Lemmings.
You heard it here first. We're ready for more lemmings. Yeah, I mean that's as much. I mean, I don't know. I need to see more, but I don't know. I need to see actual I need to see a level of this thing. I need to see what actually is happening in this game. Some of these trailers just don't do the game. It's like they forget what trailers are supposed to do for their game. Sell me on your game, not the story, not the movie, not the CGI movie. Yeah, and then did you ever play Twilight Zone?
No, actually.
Neither did I. It only released on the Quest, I believe. I don't even think there was a PC, or I don't think there was a PC release, if I'm remembering correctly. I heard good things. I heard 3 stages. I think there's a 4th stage available now. If not now, then coming soon. Each stage is about an hour, I think, or something like that, and they're all totally different. And you play through these weird scenarios where things are chasing you, and you have to escape and hide. And it's supposed to be messed up and weird, like like transference in regards to like things that get crazy. Horror-y. I'm looking forward to seeing. Like I said, it's that thing now where I don't want to play this now. I want to play it on the PSVR 2, where I get the best visuals and the best, hopefully the best scares and everything else they have to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. I was out of town when this landed, and I just didn't care too much. It looked like a bit of a license grab to me, and I was like, nah. And I don't really like psychological horror that much, like where it's just messing with your reality. And in VR, it could really do that. And so it's just, I don't know. We'll see. You can review this one.
Thanks. These guys don't give out review codes to me, so that might be tough.
Don't they know who we are?
Right. Do you know who we are? I'm gonna drop that one day. Like when we finally give up on this whole thing, and I'm just like done. I'm just like, you know who I am? I'm Ryan for the VR grid. God damn it! Yeah,
it's not fucking rocket science.
Yeah, Exorcist and Tarzan VR. This is their little gems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, Exorcist leads me to believe it could be decent. Tarzan, not as much.
Yep.
I wouldn't be putting Tarzan VR on the end of my.
They really want that to be a success, and everyone's like, it's garbage.
Well, they're just like, but Tarzan. Like, yeah, Tarzan is not the license you think it is.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they've made 1 live action, maybe 2 live
most
action.
Most of the age group that actually cares about Tarzan
is dead. My father loved Tarzan. He passed away about 5 years ago. Yeah, and they said Tarzan's also one of those like free license things where you don't gotta pay them anymore, because I think it's just like anyone can make a Tarzan thing. I think I could be wrong. I don't know. That doesn't matter. Blah, Tarzan. Moving on.
We don't have time.
I got time.
And if we're ignoring you guys in chat, like Todd, I know you're just going off in the chat, and I'm just not talking to you. It's just we don't have time. We got too many games to get through, and some of those games we also talked.
We have to end it. We have to end this episode.
The last 2 episodes too. So if your game starts with like say an H, then you might have to go back to the first episode.
Yeah, we talked about Hellsplit Arena last episode. Next is Chris. Is a game we both played and both enjoyed. Ultra Wings 2. It's getting the PSVR 2. Wow, my words just stopped completely. Treatment is what I was looking for. Just we played on the Quest. I don't think I played the PC version,
You better
actually.
say nice things, Ryan, or else the
I
developers
better say nice things. They're gonna get mad.
say shit on Twitter
If
about you.
you ever want to find these guys on Twitter, BitPlanet Games, they get pretty spicy when like creators and reviewers like review their games or talk smack about their games. They always come back. So it's actually pretty amusing if you care. Ultra Wings 2, man. If you played the first one, you know exactly what you're getting from the second one. It's a bit better, but not a lot. It's not a ton better. They kind of nailed it the first time around. They added combat missions, more planes, but they feel the same in my opinion. The level design's a little bit different. You can actually drive to all the islands now once you unlock them. It's a better game, and I was happy to see it on the Quest, but watching the trailer, you can see it's got all these like lighting textures and it's got all these things that just were missing from that version that I want to see. That being said, as fun as it is, as simulation as it is, it's not the most impressive looking game, even in this trailer with all that visual bump. So, I mean, it's cool to have a flight sim game on PSVR because right now this is the only thing coming that we're aware of. No, I mean it's Ultra Wings. Ultra Wings is awesome. I'm not gonna sit there and smack this thing. I'm like, it's a 7. Like people,
Pilot Wings in VR, man.
Yeah,
and it's a weird one because it's simcade, right? Because it's definitely not arcadey. And it's not nearly as say arcadey or as combat heavy as say like warplanes. So there's that side, that side of it, at least on Quest, right?
It's not questy triangular. It's not questy.
Well, it actually is pretty questy.
I disagree.
But it is like on PSVR.
It's PSVR 1E.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way. But it is questy in the fact that when it comes to PSVR 2, it's gonna be like, what is this, a quest game? Like I liked it. I enjoyed it. I like the series. I like sim type games.
Yep.
It's not really that simmy. Like, I mean, you go play Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and it's like, okay, this is a sim game. Then I have one of my buddies come over who's like into flight sims and he's like, yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator is like almost arcade compared to like real flight. So I'm like, okay, sorry. But so it's simmy. It's enough sim to like feel like you could die in the air if you're not paying attention. I enjoyed it. It's just, it feels like Ultra Wings 1.5.
And my big issue too with this one, and I don't know if it's going to matter for the PSVR 2 version, but to get the to play the dogfighting, the multiplayer dogfighting, that was paid DLC. So you guys actually pay like $5, which is definitely seems a bit scammy. Only because it's in your trailer and it was kind of something you highlighted about your game. But that being said, I'm kind of hoping that PSVR 2 it'll just be included in the base game, and then it won't matter. I agree.
Need to, especially with it being out already. If they just try to put
they're gonna get so mad at us.
Immediately
so
have
mad
to,
at us.
Whatever. you're it's just, don't be mad because we're right. Yeah, whatever. No, the ocean doesn't look any better spaced out. Especially
yes, it does. It looks better.
Not really.
Better.
Not on the Quest.
I think it looked better.
Looks questy.
So yeah, I'm 7. I said Ultra Wings still gets a lot of love. As much as we're joking around here, I really enjoyed the first game. I really enjoyed the second game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I will say, I mean, if you guys haven't played the second and you're holding out because you didn't want to play the Quest version or don't have a Quest, it is so much more of the same. There's different planes. There's a helicopter. There is some cool stuff. The islands, there's a lot more to them. There's a kind of a downtown city island, but the core gameplay loop of just crushing and grinding out trials is exactly the same. They mix it up with a little bit of dogfighting, and I think the game's at its best when it does that. But then it leaves you wanting, because then you go back to going through rings again.
This dog is interfering with the show so hard this episode. All right, we've talked enough about Ultra Wings. We're both moderately excited. Now we got a big one, Undead Citadel, Chris. Undead Citadel. I mean, this thing's been in development since 2018. That's when we first heard about it.
Yeah, I know.
So we're talking 5 years later. And in that time, if you follow the developer, they revamped like their whole visuals. They revamped their entire physics engine. I think they had at one point in time were like rebuilding the whole game from like ground up. Like it's been in like, you know, it's been developed forever. And these guys on their Discord promised a PSVR 2 launch of this game. They said the game's done. They said their campaign's done. All they're doing right now is basically just bug fixing. All they're doing is bug fixing. So this thing is apparently good to go, and we're going to see it February 23rd, 2022? 22nd. I don't know why. 22nd. So, yeah, Undead Citadel's coming, man, and it does look awesome. Out of all these kind of like physics-based, like, you know, Hellsplit Arena and Everslot and all these kind of things, this one, I'm not going to lie, it kind of looks awesome. I think this is all those types of games, this one has me most excited.
It looks PSVR 2. It looks like a PSVR 2 game. Like, it looks great. And I need to know more. It's been in development for so long that, like, I think it actually has like a campaign. Like, I think you are progressing through something.
That's why I'm also excited for this. It actually has a story, which I do need out of these things.
But I want to know, like, is there an upgrade? Is there some kind of some type of an upgrade tree? Like, what's the progression system? I don't know. I need to know more. It looks great. It looks awesome. But like I said, melee combat games in VR it's so tough to get it to. I don't know. No one's really, I don't think, nailed it. Blade and Sorcery gets by in the fact that it's just can be just carnage, but it's not like it doesn't have a lot of issues. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I shouldn't say I agree. I'm actually pretty stoked for this. I don't know why I said I agree. I take that back. I mean, like I said, this thing's been developed for so long. I'm optimistic it's gonna be a pretty big game. I guess I don't know either. Hopefully we get more information sooner than later.
I hope it delivers. I hope it can deliver. Like, it's just been in development for so long. It could either be a disaster. That's why it's just never been. They've never got it out because they just couldn't get it.
It does not look like a disaster.
No,
this thing. I mean,
but is it visually amazing and then it just falls apart? I mean,
is it's the hubris for melee combat?
Or did they feel like they had? I just don't know enough about the behind the scenes. Or did they feel like they had something and they just wanted to like get it right? Or did it have an Alvo situation where just like lost financing, fell apart, and someone picked up the pieces and is running with it again?
Man, watch this trailer. I just suspect this to be right now like the surprise launch title for PSVR 2. Like, this is kind of the one that's gonna like grab people's attention more than a lot of games.
It looks sick.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
All right.
I've seen.
What's your hype? I want a number. What's your hype level?
I was gonna say, you do see, if you go watch gameplay footage of some people playing it on PC, like obviously in some type of a beta, it doesn't look that good. So it'd be interesting to see what it actually looks like when it finally hits prime time. I would say my hype rating's around a 7.5, just because I just need to know more before it gets, but it looks good.
All right. Next up is Volcanic Core. I honestly don't know what this looks like. I mean, it looks questy. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a kind of like a battle zone multiplayer battler. So you basically pick your tank. Some have wheels, some have like little walkie things. Maybe they all have walkie things. I'm just watching this again now. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong. And you basically fight things. It reminds you a lot of Battlezone, in all honesty. But the trailer does not really show you too much. So I mean, I think it's a multiplayer game. Maybe it's like a co-op game. Maybe it's only I don't know. But it looks like it belongs on the 64, which, I mean, style's one thing, but this doesn't look. It doesn't look great.
It looks, even saying it's almost an insult to the Quest to say it looks questy, but it looks, yeah, it's just no.
I said it's 64.
And Battlezone looked awesome if you really looked at it. Battlezone still holds up. I don't think that's fair to say to Battlezone. And it's giving me more vibes of that game that I'm probably going to, maybe chat can remember. It was a PSVR 1 game. You were playing like robot animals, and it was a multiplayer.
Saber.
Yeah. Saber.
We like Saber.
I liked to like Saber, but I'm getting those vibes that it's definitely pretty indie. Anyway,
how dare you? How dare you?
Next.
All right, we'll lump these two together here because The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners Part 1 and Part 2 are coming to PSVR 2. Chris, Woo! That's exciting. You can find Chris's review on our channel, although I'm sure all you guys in chat have already watched it. And really looking forward to the PS2 VR2 version of these because the Quest version stinks, right, Chris?
Yeah, chapter 2 on the Quest, I feel like really pushed the Quest. I feel like I mean, obviously, I think there's going to be some polish. I feel like it launched, and I said this in my review. I feel like it launched um, a bit broken. Like it definitely felt rushed. It's not nearly as polished as even like the first game on Quest, and I don't think there's a lot of excuse for that. Sorry, guys, my wife's not here to wrangle the beast. And she has opinions on all my neighbors. Anyway, I feel like the second one though is pushing the Quest. I feel my theory is that some of the new levels, the new areas are a little bit more vertically intense. There's a bit more verticality to them. I feel like they're trying to be a little more interesting graphically, and even some of the revisited levels, just because they're a little more war torn, they look a little more interesting. And that on top of the increased zombie aggression and the zombie count, I feel like they actually had to tone the visuals down. I think overall, like there's some really really bland texture work happening here. You just look at some of the vehicles, you're like, Jesus Christ, did they look that bad in the first? Tons of texture pop, and just like you look down at the ground, you can see the texture flick in and out. It doesn't even do it justice to how bad the texture popping is when you look at the recorded play. When you're in the headset, there's way more flicking in and out that I'm seeing. And just lots of just broken stuff, from audio stuff to gameplay things. Blades not cutting, zombies getting cut on geometry. It just felt unfinished, and I feel like but I really felt like the PS or the Quest 2 rather was almost buckling under the game sometimes. Like when you pulled the chainsaw out, you could just feel the Quest being like, "No, I don't want to do this. I'm a I'm a cell phone."
On PC, using the chainsaw was substantially more enjoyable then, because I mean, I did play the PC version, and I mean, it obviously didn't have nearly as many issues as what you're describing on the Quest version, and it did look substantially better. I mean, I'm holding off from playing the PC this until PlayStation VR 2, I think, just because of, once again, all the sexy that the headset's offering. It's awesome that these are both coming to PSVR 2. I'm really hoping that they kind of bundle them in for cheap.
I do too.
At
Because
least the first one, just
well, yeah, but the second one is so tied to the first. Like it's so connected. It's really more just like a continuation, like almost
yeah, totally.
like really good DLC. Um that just to bundle them in. I mean, so many people though have played the first one. I mean, the bundle I think is only going to appeal to some people, new gamers, I guess, or people who just want to rip through it from beginning to end. I don't know. I mean, to me, like the bundle's one thing, fine, I don't care. The second one's the one I'm really interested in playing. I mean, the entire time I played on Quest, I was like, I really want to play this on something else.
Yeah, I get it. And
I,
then,
I kept playing it. I just kept playing. I was like, I'm not gonna have fun with this. I'm not listening to the storyline. Nope. Bare minimum effort here. Just
there's
get
also the
through.
upgrade factor too, and the fact that you're not battling with PSVR 1's tracking. So if you did play on the first one,
Yeah, that's true. If
then
you've
you do
never
get to
played
kind
it
of,
any other way, it's like quite
yeah,
the upgrade. Yeah,
you
yeah.
can actually turn around in your environment. It's pretty slick.
Just to be able to have at it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, hopefully in the next months, whatever issues that we've had with the Quest and everything else are fixed. And when it comes to PSVR 2, it's just as awesome as it can be. And then we're just happy.
Yeah, I will say, just thinking about it, something I don't think never really thought of in my review. I would say that actually, let's tell me what you think about this in your PC gameplay of Saints and Sinners 2. I feel like there were more zombies that came up from behind you, sometimes cheaply, but they definitely. And I'm wondering if that is partly because they didn't have to consider, or at least didn't really care about the PSVR one anymore.
Maybe that'd be
Like
funny, but yeah, that's totally, yeah,
they're
maybe.
definitely, I definitely felt like there was. I mean, obviously the zombie aggression was ramped up a bit, anyways, but there was just a lot more like, "What, Jesus Christ!" Like like
Yeah.
fuck, get off, and like and at night mode especially, like you were paying attention, you're listening.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's actually a pretty valid point. I'd accept that.
Yeah, Rob, you guys got, I don't know, I was so jealous of you guys in the US and in the UK and such that got all your invites to pre-order. In Canada here, we didn't get that, and I think we got the better deal
I
because
can literally go to Best Buy right now in Canada and pre-order another one if I wanted
yeah, they're like
to.
Best Buy, Amazon.ca, EB Games,
No scalpers in Canada.
GameStop, I guess for you guys. Like seriously, it's like not an issue at
I
all.
think aren't all our EB games GameStops now too?
Yeah, they're switched. I don't know. Have
Okay,
they actually dropped EB entirely?
I think so. I think they're
Anyway,
done. I think it's all GameStop.
yeah,
Yeah,
Triangulator. Ryan and I are both in Canada, and we're like 25 minutes away from each other, which is
yeah,
weird how that worked out.
yeah. I stalk him weekly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I used to watch videos of him in his backyard before we even played VR together.
Yep. I never even put out videos in my backyard, so that's creepy as F. Chris, Wandering in Space. Oops, wrong trailer. There we go. Wandering in Space. This is actually available on PC right now. I have not played this. It very much looks like it has persistence vibes, and it looks like it's a roguelike. You're on a ship trying to survive and like perform missions, and it really does look like a persistence clone, which isn't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously. It does look a little janky. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I think about that. I don't know. Like, do I want this or do I want like the Persistence PSVR 2 version edition, right? And that's kind of where I'm on the fence about this, where I don't know if I'm in the market for a Persistence clone.
I am
Oh, and then I get it. Like, I'm not saying
very persistent.
I
I've
just
never
don't
seen the
know.
trailer.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, I don't know if there's like a full on campaign or if it. But I mean, the end of the trailer does show like it's like it does show you like respawning. It does imply to me. It implies it's a roguelike. There's an upgrade system. I don't know. I mean, as long for me, as long as there's a good enough story backing this thing up, I'm down. And for the persistence was actually pretty addicting, even though the story was actually pretty.
No,
light.
I don't give a shit about the story in a game like that.
I know you don't,
but even
but for me, I do.
But in a roguelite like this, like it's not like they're known for stories. To me, it's all
I
about
know,
the game.
I
It's
know.
all about the game loop.
I know. I just finished saying the persistence got me, so I can't. I
Yeah.
just. And then I love the
Yeah.
space bow. You're gonna see it in here. The space bow was ridiculous. I don't know who carries a space bow on a spaceship, but that's just VR. Which is like, well, you know what this game needs? A bow and arrow.
Yep.
Okay.
There it is. Bang.
Yeah, you're behind me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Wander in space. I don't think I have any more information on this thing. Yeah, I don't know anything else other than the trailers. So okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm it definitely has my interest peaked. At one point there, it looks like there might be some co-op. It looks like we just don't know a lot.
That'd be cool.
Yep. Yeah, it could be cool. I don't know. I'm pretty hyped about that. I mean, it looks like it needs some work. Like it definitely is not the like persistence was even to this day still feels like pretty high in VR. And I just actually played it all over again on PC a little while ago just to have that just to play it like at its best. Unfortunately, still controller based, but
Yeah.
and even not a huge visual jump, but you could crank up the super sampling, which looked nice. And it had ray tracing in it. Or not ray tracing, rather. It had ambient occlusion, so it had some pretty nice lighting that you could crank up on PC. But anyways, my point is it looks so good already. That game is that like this one already doesn't look as good as something that came out years ago.
It's still early access to this
Yeah.
one on PC side of things. I should say that
on
too.
PC?
So I believe so. Yes.
What was it called?
Wandering in Space.
Okay.
Wander as in WA, I believe, unless I spelled my notes wrong, which is totally possible. I played on PC too. Looked awesome. Oh, he's talking about persistence. Yeah. Going to chat here. All right, guys. Cosmo Dread. I mean, Cosmo Dread, Persistence are very similar games. Cosmo had a little more horror-y stuff to it. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm like a 6. I mean, hopefully it's better than it looks. It looks a bit janky to me. I don't know.
There's a demo if you guys want to try it on PC. Holy shit, it's a 20 gig demo.
Damn, now Chris is all intrigued.
Anyways, it's early access, yeah. $20.
Next up, we got our second to last game here, and that's X8. Well, I'm assuming it's X8 or it's like Zate. I'm assuming it's X8.
It's X8.
It looks honestly very much like a Larcenauts clone.
AKA Overwatch clone.
Yeah, right. So it's just guy looks like a hero battler, um, and you and two teams gotta face off each other and kill each other. You have powers of gesture based powers. I'm not sure how I feel about where you have to like make a circle or like do a little magical move to like bring up a wall and stuff. I just think those can be kind of finicky, especially in VR. If you're like make a circle and then the VR doesn't register your circle because you're like too fast
Yeah,
or too slow.
in a competitive environment, that could be pretty frustrating.
So I mean, we'll see how that goes. Obviously, I mean, hopefully with the improvements of tracking on PSVR 2. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is we're watching a Quest trailer now too. It's also in looks questy,
It does.
but it does. I mean, it's good. I just see Larcenauts all over this thing. I do like Larcenauts, but I also don't get excited over these games just by themselves. I just the drive to return to these things, unless I'm playing with friends, just isn't there. So for myself, it's just I'm low just for that reason. I like Larcenauts. This looks to be in the same vein.
Todd, this is not battle royale. You need to go reread the definition of a battle royale. Then you can come back and we'll continue the conversation.
Unless this is, but this trailer does not make it look like that. This trailer very much makes it look like it's a team based
and I could be wrong, and
shooter.
and Todd could be right, but I'm pretty sure. Just looking, I'm pretty sure it's 8-player. I'm gonna guess it's 4v4.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it looks hero shooter It doesn't look to go as hero shooter as say something like Larcenauts was so Overwatch, or
Yeah,
the other one. There's a free to play Overwatch type. I guess Overwatch is free to play now too. It's escaping me right now what the other free to play is called. This actually reminds me of a game that is a free to play hero shooter type thing. And again, I don't play it. I don't play free to plays. But I had a buddy that was playing it when I was out of town there. It reminds me of that, which doesn't help anybody listening.
yeah.
But
Good story. Good story.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just at the tip of my tongue too. I don't know. I mean, right now this does not look like PSVR 2 material.
Right.
Um,
Totally.
it looks undercooked.
Well, then
It
like
looks questy. It looks
right.
more questy than Larcenauts did. Larcenauts, if from the for you guys who didn't know, is from the creators of Farpoint, and Larcenauts I thought like looked like it had a lot of money behind it. Like it was a pretty polished game. It had its issues, content being the one big thing, but it looked pretty nice across
Yeah,
both
for the Quest.
and on PC. But yeah,
Oh, that's right. It just, but yeah, PC just adds some fucking shaders.
this just looks a little bland to me. It looks a little generic.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like a 5. I mean, and honestly, now the issue of like cross-platform comes up, and if there is even player base to begin with, and if you like can find matches, and it's iffy to me, very iffy. Yeah. Last game, Chris. You ready to talk about the last game?
Valorant, thank you, Denizen. Valorant was the one, the free to play.
Valorant.
Valorant was the free to play I was talking about. The one that
Oh, there it
was
is.
the one that was like Overwatch.
Yes.
Still
We
not
get
the
it.
other one I'm trying to think of.
All
Continue.
right. Boring. The last official game announced for this thing that we know of is Zenith: The Last City, a game you played and sunk some hours into earlier this year. It's a free upgrade for PSVR 2 users. I haven't played this. I don't care about MMOs. I don't care about this one. I don't care about the PSVR 2 release. I'm not going to play it. I highly doubt I will. Go, Chris.
I was reading chat. What game is this?
Zenith.
Okay.
The,
I shouldn't
you,
say.
Yeah, you reviewed. Did you give it like a decent review?
I didn't review it. I just played it. I was working out of town there, and I just played it because I wanted to play it. I'm not a social gamer, and you guys know that. It's not like I'm like, man, people, meh. But sometimes I am. And so Zenith is like, you gotta, it lives or dies on like your community of playing with. Like for a while there, it was really cool when it first launched. I swear to God, there was like a server that was like almost entirely game cat community. Like it was crazy. Like there were like you could go on there at any time of day and you'd see at least 30 or 40 game cats ripping around. It's a big, giant, ambitious game. It's an MMO. So
it's only gotten a lot bigger too since you
it
played.
has. They've added a lot. It had a content problem for me. It had a big world, but a lot of repetitive ideas and only a few character classes they've added since then. So like it's a game that I might actually really look forward to dragging you kicking and screaming into on PSVR 2 and actually playing through it a bit. in its more
Sure,
like
you're reviewing it.
in its more complete form though now. It might be good. Like it'll be a
Yeah.
game, it'll be a cool game to like return to. I played it on PC and Quest. I actually never played the PSVR one because of the moves. I just didn't want to deal with it.
How dare
Um
you?
it was a it was a game that I thought was like gonna be like a complete train wreck. Like when I heard what they were gonna do, like flying and climbing, I was like, please.
It looks very
it's
questy.
it looks very MMO-y as
Yeah, it
well.
does.
You
Yeah,
know,
no, it looks good. I'm
I
just joking
actually
around.
really enjoyed parts of it. I would say that I really kind of enjoyed playing it for a while there. I was like finding it pretty relaxing too to like rip around the worlds and stuff. I would say it just ran out of it just was overly ambitious for the size of team that it had working on it.
I want to
And
say too, just to cut you off here, I want
mhm.
to say they actually promised a pretty big, a substantial visual upgrade to the PSVR 2 version as well. So I want to say that was actually a thing.
Well, I played the PC version, so I don't know if it's getting a boost on top of that. The PC version is a much prettier game. Like it feels much more. It feels less. This might not make sense, but it feels less questy and and more cartoony, but in a good way. Like it's a game that goes for a cartoon vibe, and it really just nailed the way the colors popped. Like it felt more like say Breath of the Wild than it
Hmm.
than it did like than it and less questy. Like you could it looked like it was more intentional in the art style that it had and less like kind of like restricted, if that makes
Right.
any sense. I don't know. I know I haven't been paying a lot of attention. I know they've added classes. I know they've added areas. Like you see this trailer, like almost all of this is new to me, and so it'd be fun. I'm looking forward to playing through it again. I think that this could be a good game on the PSVR 2. It's got crossplay, so it's not dependent on
And
numbers.
it's also a free upgrade as well, I believe.
Yep,
So, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I'm happy everyone likes this game. Like I
it's
said,
a good
MMO.
game for PSVR 2 to have.
Yeah, I'm not an MMO guy, and I have sunk hours to MMO. I played a ton of, no, I shouldn't a ton, a bunch of World of Warcraft, and I played the Star Wars one as well for a fair bit. It's just every time I lost interest was the exact same. Once the game started, like, once I had to start relying on others for me to enjoy the game, I just basically lost interest when it became a social. Like I have to do these quests with people. I was like, all right, well, I hate people, so I'm out.
I,
And that's where that landed.
and I hear you, Triangulator, talking about. I mean, I have no idea what happened with you in the game cat thing. I'm not a I'm not a joiner, Ryan. I'm not a joiner. I don't I don't I don't I don't join groups and represent as groups. It's like so you're never gonna see me changing my Shughead the game cat. That's just not like I love that I like that community. I love what Pearl and Brian's doing and everything, but I don't like to belong to any one thing, especially since I like just being in the VR community. I definitely do not want to belong to a headset. It's just my thing.
Yep, that's why my name is not the PSVR grid, which it was for one day ages ago, but we
Oh,
don't talk
really?
about that. One day I changed the banner art and stuff I had, then I changed it back. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be committed to this.
He he
And
he used to have Ryan the asshole, and he changed that too.
totally,
I don't want to belong to that.
Chris, we did it.
Oh shit! Is this it?
We covered 85 confirmed PlayStation VR 2 games. So yeah, we're up to 85 right now. And that doesn't include the stuff from Strange Game Studios has 2 more games coming out. Fire
Of
Sprite
course
has a
they do.
Fire Sprite has a horror game coming out. Fast Travel Games has a fast travel game coming out.
Of course they do.
Archaeact has a sci-fi game coming out. Cloudhead Games has something coming out. And Dreams has something else coming out. Vitruvius VR has a game, and CodeSync has something else that's not Jurassic Park. We don't have any anything for that. I've got a huge list of rumored stuff as well,
God, really
which we won't get into. But that's everything confirmed, guys. I know it was kind of a, it's a marathon watch, 4.5 hours of glorious VR conversation. But there you have it, man. I mean, it's 85 games coming to PSVR 2, and we are both expecting plenty more to come in the near future. It's getting crazy out there, Chris. It's getting crazy.
Interesting. I'm just interested that CodeSync's got a game. I mean, their Codes here. CodeSync is Onward though. I thought CodeSync was bought by CodeSync was bought by Meta.
I don't think so.
I think they were.
You might be right. Look it up. But I mean, CodeSync's last game that I'm aware of was Jurassic Park, right? Wasn't that them? That was them.
Yeah, they're Jurassic as well too.
Yeah. So, and they also do a lot of ports. That's kind of something that came out when I think they got a big developer thing done. They worked on like 12 or 9 different games that they basically helped port over to VR or different headsets. Um, man, I mean,
Yep.
it's fun when you talk about the good stuff. You can't help but get excited, man. Like we just get excited, and then you talk about the other stuff where it's like meh. But I mean, that being said, there is kind of a little bit of everything, a little bit of something here for everyone, and there's plenty more to come. Obviously, both of us are pumped for PSVR 2. I cannot wait. I cannot absolutely. I'm just. I need quality VR back in my life. I need AAA presentation. I need this. I need big teams working on big games. My hair's always on point, Asylum. Always.
It is
Um,
irritating.
but yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm counting on the date where it's like what, like the countdown's at 74 days now or 75 days till PSVR 2 drops. Like we're 2.5 months away, and I'm getting excited. I want to see more. I want to see something big announced. Now, once this is done, I go back and see if the Game Awards promised us anything exciting. But yeah, man, Chris, I mean, PSVR 2. This like, I can't wait. Silence. You're supposed to talk when
I'm reading chat. I'm listening to you too. Yeah, I mean, it's a whack of games. It's a whack of games. Um, I it, these aren't all launch games. I think launch is going to be busy though. Ryan and I were talking about this too. It's like kind of like don't almost want any more launch games announced. Although I would. That being said, another like one or two big ones would be really nice to be able to kind of focus. To have kind of a marquee of like six solid, really solid games up there. I really want to see GT7. I am gonna be pissed if GT7's not isn't launched or announced before as like coming.
I'll end this episode here. Todd asks, what's your most anticipated game for PSVR 2 that we know of?
Most anticipated?
That's what he asked.
Do you have an answer? Because you should answer.
Because you don't have an answer.
I gotta think.
I also have to think about this one. Like putting it down to one game. I'm not gonna lie, Undead Citadel definitely has my interest peaked. As far as I mean, Resident Evil 8 also is another one that I've never played Resident Evil 8, so I'm pretty stoked about that one as well. I'm just trying to go through the list here to kind of remind myself. I mean, Lo-Fi. I just hope it delivers on
These
such promises.
These are launch titles, right? Isn't
He
that?
said, he said launch?
Oh no, he just said anticipated titles.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So anticipated title, it's definitely hard to narrow it down to one
Of the announced.
of the. Well, out of our 85 games, I'm gonna go with Switchback has me pretty fucking excited. Crossfire has me really excited. I'm not gonna lie. Like proper Bravo team where I can play on a full on campaign with a buddy. That has me pretty excited. I cannot lie about that. That it looks fun as hell. Yeah, it's kind of tough to really nail it down. I'm not actually overly excited for a lot of these games now that I'm actually kind of break it down to the excitement level. I mean, I'm trying to see what did I give, like it was like a 9. I can't remember.
But if you eliminate every single game that we've already played on Quest, and Ryan and I played almost all of them, like if they're Quest games already, then like we're down to like half, easy.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then if you take those half, I'd say at least half of those look really early, like to the point where it's like just unfair to make judgments on them other than okay, interesting. Um, like, but Todd, that's not confirmed. Resident Evil 4 remake is not confirmed. It's like they did a little weird back and forthing on it. It sure sounds like it's coming. Um, I would say I'm like, I think I would say that I'm more interested in playing. I've played Village and beat Village. I've played Res 4 and played it 4 or 5 times. I'm more interested in playing Village again than I am to going back to Resident Evil 4. As much as I'm looking forward to the remake, especially since I also just played Res 4 in VR on the Quest. I would say my most anticipated game, if I would say, okay, let's put it this way: my most anticipated launch game is Call of the Mountain, Horizon, just
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. Actually,
because everything else that is of uh interest to me, I have played. Like I've played Village, I've played No Man's Sky. Um,
and it should maximize the tech. We should see 100% what the PSVR 2 is bringing in regards to all its features.
I
That should
freaking
be the
love
showcase.
freaking loved Village though. So if I hadn't played Village and I'd been holding out, I would be more excited for Village than Call the Call Call the Mountain. And now outside of the launch window that we know as launch games, I would say, um, and ignoring Walking Dead Chapter 2, just because I played it, I would say Lo-fi, probably. I just if he could bring it together, it looks so sick.
It does. It really does. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with that. It's actually kind of hard. Like, so I still need a few more bangers to come. I need some kind of sequel. I need some kind of like something big to really kind of grab me. I'm still pumped, but I just asking me that singular question. It's like, am I? I mean, these are games. Even the games I'm hyped for aren't necessarily games I typically like would play on my own. Which is like Resident Evil 8. I don't know if I'd play that really outside of this. I kind of got out of the Resident Evil franchise just because it's changed so much. So it's like,
Well,
I'm pumped to play it, but
well, it depends where your entrance point is. Like Res 7 I liked. I hear people talking about it. But Res 7 was definitely much more of a horror game and much less of a shooter. I also hated the head aiming on the PSVR, even though
yeah.
it was like I just dealt with it because it was awesome, the game itself. But like Res 7 to me I had no interest in going back and replaying it again. Really outside of because it was so uncomfortable and horror-y. I just didn't as a gameplay side, it didn't really grab me. Whereas Resident Evil 8 is much more of a sequel to Resident Evil 4 and that type and Res 5 in some ways. And that's the type of game where you like just it's so action heavy and you kind of like and I just love the pacing and the game loop and the ammo conservation stuff. So when you crush it on normal mode, you're like, okay, let's do it on Game Plus hard. And Res Village is that with the exception of one part of the game that goes horror, like 75% of the game is just like more of a horror shooter. So I don't know where your where you're like if Res 4 was like what you consider the pinnacle of Resident Evil, then you'll love Village. And that's kind of my sales pitch for it.
I never played 4 until the Oculus version, so
Yeah. Um yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We were talking about lo-fi, people are talking about cyberpunk there, and I know that there's been some rumors that cyberpunk might actually end up might be getting an official PSVR release. That would be cool. I have had a hell of a time trying to get in. I cannot get into Cyberpunk as a game. I have tried like 5 times, and I just every time I get in, I'm like, I don't care. I do not care, and it's tough. Lo-fi to me looks like a game. It is. It's built up for VR, and
yeah.
actually has me more excited than Cyberpunk for a VR game.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean it's tough to kind of nail down one. I would say Horizon's definitely just because I want to see just what the headset can do. I just want the headset in my hand. I just want to see. I want to see everything. I just want to, I don't know. It's hard to get excited over a singular game. I mean, Horizon Switchback, obviously. I just want it, Chris. I just want it so I can start like picking at it and taking all the things I like and just tearing it apart and building back up and
My
next level VR.
my biggest problem with PSVR 2 is such a first world problem. It's not even funny. My biggest stress every time I think about getting it is the fact that all of my let's call it like my VR grid studio is down here in the basement where I'm all set up with all the recording equipment, my PC and all that, and green screens and lighting and everything. And my PS5 lives upstairs in the living room because it's like part of our entertainment center. And my biggest stressor is like I don't know what to do. I got to get a second PS5. Like, I have to. I
Oh,
don't,
poor guy.
and I don't want to though. I don't want to drop that coin on it twice, and I really can't take the PS5 down here, and I just like don't really know what to do with that problem.
Oh,
I
Muffin.
know
That's
it's a
too
big
bad.
problem.
I feel terrible for you.
Somebody start a GoFund for me. I need a
All
new
right.
PS5.
All right. Before he gets out of control here, guys. I mean, there was 12 of you here the whole damn stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are our hardcore fanboys, and we really appreciate that. So, all you guys in the chat, all you guys doing it, all you guys that watched, thank you so much. I mean, you still kept the chat interesting. You still kept distracting Chris, and he just constantly dropped the ball and like carrying conversations. So you're doing a good job.
Never. Always interacting in a positive way that is interactive and enjoyable for the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Sure it is.
Brian.
Chris, we have to go.
Fine.
You're still reading chat. I can see you're still reading chat. Unbelievable.
So much more
unbelievable.
you.
Ooh, that stung. Guys, thank you so much. Patrons, thank you for your support as well. MRI Gamer, you're our latest patron. Thank you so much for your support. We will be working on patron content. I keep saying it. It's going to happen. We're just so busy. It's just hard to do stuff. But we're getting there, guys.
It's been a lot of just trying to get a flow down for both of us. We're still trying to figure out a flow from like who's doing what reviews, and then when written reviews are up on the website, and who's handling this and that, and then running into Christmas and stuff. I'm looking forward to 2023, and maybe in our year-end episode we can talk and brainstorm with you guys a little bit about
Triangulator again. Cheers, all. Cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to you,
guys. It's really appreciated. The super chats are really nice.
Yep, we're gonna buy Chris a personality. Woo!
You better get more money. No, we really appreciate it, guys. We spent a lot of time doing content and reviews, and it takes a lot of time away from the wives. And when we have a little bit of money to be able to say spend on gear for the channel, and not having to justify it to the wives, it's just, I don't know, the whole thing is just it helps what we do immensely.
It does.
And things cost money, and things are expensive these days. So the fact that you guys would go out of pocket is huge. It's huge.
I agree.
Anyways, yeah, thanks again, especially you guys that stuck around with us instead of watching the Game Awards. As I said, promised you 850% at least more VR content.
We delivered upon that. We delivered upon that promise easily.
I think we did. Yeah.
Actually, we can do the math on that. There was 2 trailers that we're aware of. We covered 30 games. So what is that? That's actually like 600%. We fucked up, Chris. We fucked up.
No, it's way more than that.
Okay,
way more than that. Trust me. Yeah, and guys, hit the like button too on your way out the door if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. That's all.
Later, all.
Next Thursday, guys. See you later.
Last episode of the year, probably, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Bye,
Later.
Ryan.
Bye, Chris.